Welcome to another CCI monthly video update. I'm Matt Fleck, and today we're with Vigo County School Corporation in the western part of Indiana with two good friends of mine, Fern and YeVonne Jones. Both are district counselor coaches with Vigo County. And Fern and YeVonne, welcome. I want you to first explain what a district counselor coach does. I told you I wasn't going to ask that question, but I think it's kind of interesting. And a lot of districts may not have a district counselor coach. What do you do?
Well, in response to receiving the Lilly grant, that was actually written into our proposal that we would have one current school counselor. Well, we would have two school counselors, and they would act as administrators of the grant. And then our duties have evolved a little over time to, we have decided the best way for us to approach it is I primarily work with high school counselors, and YeVonne works with the middle school and elementary counselors.
Wonderful. And it's working out, it sounds like, so far.
Yeah, and with being in the coaching role, or the title of the coach of being a district counseling coach, you know, we're really able to provide professional development and align our program focus and allow all schools to get on the same page. And so we really were intentional about writing that into the grant so that we can have the two district coaches really leading that charge to align all 28 schools in our district.
Amazing. And at all 28 schools, I am assuming you have counselors, because I think you have elementary counselors in all your schools, correct?
Correct. We have elementary, middle, and high school counselors.
Wonderful. Great. Well, let me ask you a couple of comprehensive counseling initiative type of questions. We usually ask our guests what comprehensive counseling model you're working on or are developing.
So we're using the ASCA National Model.
Okay.
That's our number one outcome goal for our comprehensive counseling initiative in Vigo County, is to have all 28 schools moving towards implementation, full implementation of the ASCA National Model. So we chose that one, and we're aligning all of our programming for all three levels in the ASCA National Model.
Let me ask you, how are you doing that? Are you just doing it internally, or do you have a coach, or what's your process?
We are doing it internally, but we did have coaching through ASCA. They sent a representative 2 years. First year to meet with all the school counselors, and then the following year they came back to do a follow-up with the school counselors, but also met with all administrators in the district to talk about what the ASCA National Model was, and specifically highlighting the Administrative School Counseling Conference that happens in the beginning of the year or towards the end of the year as they're planning goals with their school counselor.
Yeah, I love that part of it. I love that aspect of it. I think it gives a lot of opportunity for you to share what you're doing and doing well, and maybe have some opportunities to ask for more time with students. Yeah, I love that part of it. Good. Tell us about one or more of your strategies that you've said you're going to do through the grant, and that seems to be going really well for you.
I think one of the pieces that has been wildly received has been our NEAT initiative. NEAT stands for New and Emerging Automated Technologies. And so every fourth grader and every seventh grader is being given the opportunity to participate in an hour or so of the NEAT modules. So set up within their gymnasium will be maybe 7 or 8 stations, everything from the virtual welder to changing a tire to the industrial robotic, little dancing robot doing the Macarena.
Yeah, right.
And like a little snippet of things that we offer in the comprehensive high schools as possible pathways. So we get those 4th and 7th graders the chance to have this hands-on mini experience and talk about, then they write about what they liked, what they learned and if there was anything that they might want to consider studying while they're in high school.
Wonderful. It's a great collaboration between schools and the career and technical education programs, and also
Yes.
your employers in the region. I imagine they really love it.
They do. We've had the employers come. We've through the grant, we were able to have every school counselor after school participate as if they were a 4th or 7th grader. So that was really wonderful too.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Great. I've seen iterations of it because it has the mobile device, and
Yes.
over the years, it's just very exciting. Great.
Yes.
Tell us about more. You're doing something with Prism, I think. Can you explain what Prism is?
So Prism is a partnership with Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology. And so it's a 4-year partnership as a part of the Lilly Comprehensive Counseling Initiative for us to create an electronic database with curated resources related to the ASCA National Model in the area of college and career readiness. We also have a module for social and emotional learning, as well as academic development. So talking about study skills, organizational skills, and all of those resources that could be helpful. Currently, we're working within Vigo County and having the information go out to our school improvement teams. All of our school counselors have been given access to the resources, and really the resources are vetted in a way that we want to focus on research-based resources as well as evidence-based, evidence-informed. And so those are always our priority, but we really want to make sure it's aligned with our standards for ASCA National Model.
That's great. I took a look at it, gave me a sneak peek of Prism, and it's just full of resources. So well done. And I imagine it keeps growing over the years too.
It keeps growing, and we even try to put asterisks and new to just let people know that we have a new resource that is up and available for people to look at, and we also accept information from our staff and our counselors about things that have worked for them that we can put on the resource, and eventually our hope is to open that up to the state of Indiana.
Tell us about, because everybody always wants to know, I'm sure you've had some struggles along the way. What's been a challenge or something that you're still working on through the grant that's just a work in progress?
Well, before I probably answer that question, I did want to just say one more thing about the work of the Comprehensive Counseling Grant that I feel is very unique to our county, is the way we've been able to have a voice at the table for school counseling and meetings that we've never had access to. So currently we sit with the curriculum team meeting that, vets books for English, math, science, social studies, and we're bringing in information about curriculum in college and career readiness, and we're embedding it in our middle school, preparing for college and career teachers. At the elementary level, we work with media specialists and do a collaboration with our media specialists who also teach science curriculum. So we're bringing in STEM careers and just kind of infusing our curriculum with college and career readiness. K-12. We're also working with our writing coaches that are in grades 2 and grades 5, and they're bringing in college and career lessons in the writing with students. And so those are some of the things that, even though they're, these natural collaborations that we feel they're natural now, but before we never even thought, let's meet with our media specialists, let's meet with our writing coach list, let's bring counselors and preparing for college and career teachers together as a way to make it college and career readiness to be K-12, with the emphasis at the high school level with new graduation pathways. I mean, that was a big rollout last year. And so it just really was a perfect time. I feel that, Fern was in a position to be a coach because she really took that charge and took that lead to get our high schools and really put a stamp as far as Vigo County and preparing for our students who are 9, 10, 11th and 12th graders to be able to graduate. And so that was just some things I wanted to share, but
I'm glad you did. That's great.
Challenges, I feel like because we are moving in a system that is before we had each of our schools doing work independently. So I would say our biggest challenge is to really kind of come in and focus the work, and get everyone on board, coming to meetings, letting them understand the why of why we felt and chose the ASCA National Model as what will drive counseling forward. And so because people often want to, work in where they're comfortable in, we have to really work to challenge people to come, understand what the why is, and have them get on board in a way that really makes sense. And so I feel like that was one of the benefits to being a coach, and being in the seat of a school counselor, that we were able to bring everyone with us. And some people are ready to jump in, and others, because we have that background and in that experience, we can talk from a space of, hey, I understand this is where we are, but we want to get here. And we have that background at school counseling to provide that bridge when sometimes getting to meetings after school that are not mandatory can be a challenge.
Right. But don't you think counselors are the perfect glue or the bridge, as you mentioned, to connect a lot of those different groups, and being in the leadership functions and the meetings that you're in now? I think it seems like it's a perfect fit.
It really is the most exciting thing that I've seen in my 20-something years in the corporation. And as YeVonne said, really to have a seat at the table and to have the understanding amongst the administration of how valuable the school counselors are, and really the glue that is keeping the schools running. I think there's an appreciation there that is
bigger.
Maybe not, bigger. Thank you.
Not new, but
not new, but bigger.
Yeah, that's great. Fantastic. So we always ask about sustainability. Do you think the strategies you actually implemented through the grant have perhaps helped you in your sustainability plan after the grant period is over?
100%.
Yes. Particularly having the media specialists and the writing coaches. This is now part of their curriculum. And so we are, touching all elementary students all year long with these folks who are here long after the grant. Of course, the school counselors will be here long after the grant, but this saying it takes a village is so true. And particularly in trying to embed this K-12 understanding of how we all can make it so that kids really are college and career ready. I think it's just really wonderful that we have these folks who are not counselors essentially helping to implement the program.
Yeah, you really built momentum, it sounds like, built upon what you've had, and you're creating some wonderful momentum. It just seems like it snowballs once you get it going, or at least that's what it sounds like on our perspective.
I agree. I know I sent out information to school counselors yesterday about getting resources for Red Ribbon Week coming up in October. And it was so interesting that I got a response back from one of the media specialists she was like, hey, I worked with my school counselor and we've come up with some ideas about ways to, support the collections in the library and also do some Red Ribbon, tobacco, alcohol, drug prevention, programming. And it was because from the last 2 years, they've been working together. And so, I feel like it speaks to that sustainability, and it speaks to, the snowball of, yes, please keep going, keep collaborating, because that's what it's really about. I feel when you say comprehensive, it's not just the school counselor,
Right.
You're really bringing everyone into the program about what's best for kids. So
Exactly
it's
right.
very exciting.
I think that's a great point. It's more than just a model. It's as much as anything comprehensive by bringing in the whole community. And a lot of schools have told us that that's what this grant has done for them. So wonderful.
Yes.
I know it's very short. YeVonne, Fern, did you have anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
Thank you for inviting us to share our story.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I think you're going to get a lot of schools that'll be interested in coming to visit or talking with you more about it. So continued good luck to you.
Welcome.
Thanks again for being with us today.
All right.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Matt.